Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Darrell Watkins, and let's queer up faith. Vatican opens the door to reform as Pope to meet LGBTQ+ equality group in Rome. In a rare move from the Vatican, Pope Leo the Fourteenth is set to meet with We Are Church International, a reform group pushing for women priests and LGBTQ inclusion in Catholic life. The Vatican announced that members of the group will meet with Pope Leo the Fourteenth and walk through the Holy Gate as part of this year's Holy Year celebrations. This visit comes during the Jubilee of Synodal Teams, scheduled from October the 24th through the 26th. Founded in Rome back in 1996, We Are Church International, or WAC, is now a global coalition. Its work centers on equality for women, for lay members, for married Catholics, and for queer people. Colm Holmes, chair of the group, said, quote, "We are this year celebrating 30 years since our foundation. We are committed to the renewal of the Roman Catholic Church based on the Second Vatican Council and the theological spirit developed therefrom," end quote. The group is expected to not only participate in Vatican events, but also meet face-to-face with Pope Leo. WAC co-founder Christian Weisner told Vatican Radio, quote, "Our patient work over 30 years, during which we have been present in Rome at bishop synods, council commemorations, papal elections, and other events, may have contributed to this. I also see the passage through the Holy Door as a sign for the Church as a whole, to leave mistakes behind and to set out again and again in Christian hope," end quote. This meeting is seen as a hopeful moment for LGBTQ Catholics, especially since Pope Leo has previously insisted that family is, quote, "founded upon the stable union between a man and a woman," end quote. While he has shown skepticism toward reform, he has confirmed that blessings for same-sex couples will remain. For queer Catholics and allies, the October meeting marks an important opportunity, a chance for dialogue at the very heart of the Church. Well, good. Good for them, because here's the thing, I'm of two minds about this sort of thing. Whenever somebody, the Baptists, the Mormons, the Catholics, somebody, the Nazarenes, whenever they do something good, I want to celebrate. Yay, they've seen a little glimmer of light, they're moving in the right direction. But I'm also reluctant to give too much praise anytime you do anything, like if it's so little, so late, with lots of caveats. And so yes, thank you. And there's so much to do. I am not the sort of person who could wait 30 years.
Right.
I just don't have that personality. I don't have that sort of patience, but I admire those who do. And so I think the people who do that, if that's all that was happening, not enough change would happen. Also, I think of people like me, who sometimes forget to hold back, that accomplishes a lot, but a lot it can't accomplish. It takes it all. And we learned that in the late 90s with HIV treatment. When we had monotherapies, those didn't last very long. Right. But when we found combination therapies, we turned this virus around, saved lives, changed the face of AIDS. So that's what I learned from that, is that yes, you may prefer this or you may prefer that, but it takes it all to get it done. So I'm not 100% on board with how they do it, but I'm glad they're doing it because their part and our part, we'll keep pushing till things get better and better and better.
Well, Bishop Darrell, how do we get you into the Vatican?
Well, I've actually been there several times. In fact, the first time I was almost thrown out. Yeah.
Oh, how?
Well, can I say? Should I say?
Yes.
Well, so I was worried. I wasn't worried. I thought I had walking shorts. I thought they were long enough. They were not long enough. So I was like attacked. It's like, so I had to lower my walking shorts. So basically I was mooning the Vatican, but my knees weren't showing, so it was fine. So they did let me in. But then I went to the gift shop to get some things, and I found a little font of holy water, and I was just blessing my things because they were gifts. Oh my God, like the green berets that descended on me. They told me to go get in a line, a confessional line, and let a priest do it. I said, I didn't know. I thank you. Anyway, I was finished. And so I took my self-blessed business elsewhere. But it was, I got in trouble the first time. The couple of times I've been since, I behaved more properly, I guess. But yeah, the first time I almost got bounced out of the Vatican.
Wow. Well, I totally get what you're saying about little too late.
Oh, yeah.
And,
the story.
The story. But, I kind of see beyond just that. And I see the condition of the world right now, especially for young LGBT folks, if they grow up in some kind of a religion. I think that, these kind of baby steps that these religious organizations take, that for those of us who have been activists for decades and decades, it's like, yeah, thanks for the peanut, I think that in the bigger picture, messages can be sent to young people struggling with their faith. And just the fact that this meeting is happening can help some young people who are struggling with trying to reconcile the church and who they are. Things like this could have a huge impact on where they stand. But I do agree that, a lot more can happen a lot quicker. But
I also hate
everything is slow.
I hate the but. Yes, we'll bless this, but
Right.
we value, but we'll bless this, but a marriage is only this. And I'm just not really willing to take marriage or sexuality advice from lifelong celibates, especially when there is a lot of evidence that they're not even doing that.
Right.
So keeping that vow. So yeah, and if you are by choice living a complete celibate lifestyle while also wearing a bit of drag, that is an alternative lifestyle.
Right.
It's legit. Good on you. Bless you. Hope you're happy. But for someone who has chosen an asexual life, which is odd because ace is an orientation, you can't choose it, but they try to choose it, and that's why they get in a lot of trouble.
Right.
But so that for you to be living outside the norm, judging other people who live outside the norm, it just rubs me the wrong way. And some of the richest spiritual Christian mysticism comes from the Catholic tradition. So like I said, I'm of two minds. I'm always conflicted. Thank you for doing something. Meanwhile, it's the 21st century. You might want to do a bit more.
I have to agree. I mean, I grew up in the church, not Catholic, Southern Baptist, and I removed myself from the church just because I felt like there was always a, like you said, and or but.
Right.
And I feel like if I'm going to, just exist as I am, I don't need a rule book for that. I'm just going to be me. And I remember when I was 16 years old, growing up in the South, I was gay bashed, my jaw was broken, and it always ended up going back to, I was hearing things from people around me saying like, well, if you were this way or this way, these things wouldn't happen. It's like, well, I'm loving the fact that, we can excuse violence on people.
Right. Yeah, and if you weren't an asshole, you wouldn't be punching people. I mean,
there's that,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as this topic goes, I am hopeful. I feel like, as far as, if we were to compare in, past, decades and decades, how far we've come as a community, obviously there's a long way that we've come, but there's a lot longer way to go. And I feel like these baby steps are just that. They're just baby steps, And
thanks for not burning me at the stake.
Right. And I feel like they're also just PR things. I feel like sometimes like, well, if we'll do this thing, it'll be on the news and people will say we've made this baby step and say, okay, well, stop making the baby steps, make the effort.
I did believe the previous Pope. I really believe that he was trying to be pastoral.
Yes.
And I think he was even pushing himself because he was seeing people as people and he cared about people. I don't know that I've gotten that vibe from his predecessors. I'm still feeling out the current one, but
Let's see what happens with this meeting. I mean, the meeting is the step.
for God's sake, prove me wrong. Just really,
Yes,
I will celebrate.
absolutely.
I will tell the world I was so wrong. He's the greatest Pope. But
We'll see.
show me.
Time will tell.
Show me.
Right.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.